So last video I talked about indie games and what makes an indie game. I'm still not really sure. I'm pre-recording this, so if I've read your comments and answered them, I'm not sure what I'm going to say, but I'm sure you guys have better ideas than I do. Anyway, in this video I'm going to talk about what I'm looking forward to this year in the independent games category. This top 7 is going to be a bit quicker than my last two because I don't really have much to go on since, these games aren't out yet and I haven't really seen much gameplay. Uh, but I'll just leave it short and quick and to the point. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. Go on. Number 7 is Shovel Knight. This one's an NES-style game that is sort of based on the Capcom NES games of the time, like DuckTales and Mega Man. Though a bit more DuckTales because it has that little jump thing where you can jump on enemies. This one's a bit lower on the list because, we've seen 8-bit style indie games all the time, but this one does look pretty fun. Number 6 is Lifeless Planet. This is an exploration game where you're an astronaut that's on this lifeless planet. And you're going around the planet trying to put together pieces of a story, and it looks like a huge world. It reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus, and I really like exploration games like that. So I'm looking forward to what that thing's all about. Number 5 is Stomping Land, which is a multiplayer survival game with dinosaurs. You look like people from Turok who are fighting dinosaurs, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of different types in there from what I've seen on the website. There's not a lot of info on the game right now other than it's going to be a multiplayer survival game with dinosaurs, which I love dinosaurs, so I'm looking forward to that. Number 4 is Gyro Blaster, or Gyro Blaster, however you pronounce that. This is from Pixel, which is the guy who made Cave Story. So, of course, a lot of people are going to be excited for this, and this one looks like it has the same kind of mechanics from Cave Story with the shooting and everything, except for this one's a bit more straightforward. It's not quite as much a Metroidvania as it's just sort of like a straight-up side-scrolling shooter. It was supposed to come out last year, but it was delayed. He wanted to tweak it a bit, and it was originally going to be just for iPhone, but it might be coming to 3DS now as well. So if he's going to do that, I'm very glad, because I don't have an iPhone. Number 3 is A Hat in Time. Now, of course, we've seen a lot of 2D platformers with indie games, but not a lot of 3D platformers. And this one's a 3D platformer in like the vein of Super Mario 64 or Banjo-Kazooie, which we haven't had in a very, very long time. So I'm excited to see this game and, how it does. Number 2 is Scale. This is a first-person puzzle game in the same vein as Portal or Antichamber, except the mechanic of this game is with making things bigger and making things larger. And from what I've seen of the game so far, it looks very interesting, and at some point you're going to be able to like manipulate the whole world. It looks really, really interesting, and I can't wait to see what kind of puzzles they come up with. And number 1 is Transistor by Supergiant Games, which is the same developer who made Bastion. It looks to be even bigger in scale and, just beautiful. Like, everything about Bastion was really good, and, this looks to be even better. I'm not sure how the mechanics are going to work. It seems like it's going to be focused a bit more on strategy than straight up beating stuff up. So those are all of the indie games that I'm looking forward to the most this year. There is an honorable mention, however, with The Classroom Aquatic, which might not come out this year, but it might come out in 2015. It has a date of like December 2014, so that's why I didn't include it on the list. But I definitely want to play that because you're in a classroom full of dolphins. So whenever that comes out, whether it comes out this year or not, I'm probably going to love that. Anyway, tell me what your anticipated games are for this year, whether it's indie or not. I mainly just chose indie titles to tie in with my previous video, and because, they're usually cheap. I also just like playing indie games a lot. So yeah, tell me what you're excited for down in the comments, and I'll see you next time.